All right, Marquis, thanks for joining us. I was just reading your tweet from this morning. You started off with a Bible verse from the book of James, I think. Is that something you do every morning, and how important is that to you?
Yeah, I do it every morning. My grandmother, she was the mother of the church, and my grandfather was the pastor of the church, and they always told me start your day off with the Lord's word and praying and everything. I wake up at 5 every morning and pray and try to cover my family before I get going, get my day started.
Yeah, is that something you involve the other coaches with? I know Coach Pearl is a man of faith. Are the other players, or is that something you just do for yourself?
I kind of do it myself. I've been doing it before I got here, so I always been trying to engage and just teach my kids and my family as well. That you should start your day off every day. With giving the Lord praise and thanking Him for allowing you to see another day.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about your family a little bit while we're talking about that. You married an Auburn girl, played
Yep.
Auburn basketball.
Yes, sir.
How is that? Do y'all talk basketball, or you just try to get away from basketball when you're together?
That's all we do in that house. We watch a lot of basketball. We talk basketball. Our daughter, she plays. Our son, he plays. So it's pretty much like basketball. But the only difference we get is my son loves baseball as well. So we get a little baseball in there. But for the most part, it's a lot of basketball.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about this weekend a little bit. Another SEC championship for the Tigers. Any takeaways or anything stick in your head from Saturday?
Just we from the top to the bottom, we had a lot of things that we went throughout the year that guys just stayed together and we ended up pulling out together. I mean, that South Carolina team is a good team. They never went away. They kept fighting. They kept going, and we just made plays, and that's what guys been doing all year. Just making plays. You never know who it's gonna be. It may be KD, it may be Jabbar, it may be Walker, it may be Zeb, Wynn, anybody. And that's just the beauty of the team, that everybody comes out and you never know what you're going to get, but it's always going to be on a positive end with these guys.
Mm-hmm. Your role as director of player development. Tell me a little bit about what that means day to day. What are you involved in with the players and coaches?
Mostly with the players. I just like to make sure that they're taking care of their stuff off the court. Once you're on the court, that'll take care of itself. Like I make sure that, Stretch calls home every Wednesday, call your family, make sure that they're doing what they need to do in the classroom, helping them to, with social media stuff and all that stuff, because players are dealing with a lot more than just basketball. And we have to understand how we got to be able to help them to, focus on what they need to focus on. And basketball on the court, it should be their happy place. They shouldn't have to worry about other stuff when they're playing basketball. So I try to help in that area.
Mm-hmm. Of course, you spent about a decade in the NBA. I know that's very important as far as recruiting for Auburn. And the players that are there now, do they come to you and say, what is it like? What was the NBA like?
Yeah, they asked me about a lot of the, what's some of the strangest things or what's some of the craziest things that happen. But for the most part, a lot of guys, they ask, what do they need to do if they, trying to get there? What should they be focused on? What should they be working on? And I just try to give them a little insight, little help with, trying to prepare them for, whenever they do get that chance to make that next step.
Yeah, and Auburn is kind of creating a pipeline to the NBA now with Isaac and Sharif and Chuma and some others. How important are you involved in that, or how important is it to keep in touch with those guys and keep them in touch with Auburn?
It's very important. I make sure I reach out to those guys after, they have good games or whether they're playing well or not. I constantly check on them. I still do the same thing I was doing here with them there, making sure that they're okay. Because like I say, when you're playing the game, nobody really asks you how you're doing. As a human, they always worry about what you're doing on the court. Nobody really asks you how you're doing as a human. Like, is your life okay? Are you stressing or anything like that's going on with you? And I try to be there and try to talk to them, because a lot of times as an athlete, people look at you and think that your life is just peaches and cream. It's just great, but you deal with a lot of stuff that you rarely have someone that you can talk to and be able to understand where you're coming from.
I'm sure they appreciate that. Tell me a little bit about this team. Very good January, maybe a little dip in February, and they finished it off in March with the SEC championship. Where do you think they are heading into March Madness?
Man, we got a lot of room to continue to get better, and that's the best thing. Like you say, we had a little dip in February, but that's part of basketball. You got to find a way to stay even keel and try not to get too high and too low. And that's one of the biggest things that, these guys, everybody wants to win and everybody wants to make it to the next level and continue to get better. But we got to continue to trust each other and continue to grow as a team and keep building our chemistry, because this is a team where we have basically 4 new starters out there on the court other than Al. So we learning a lot on the fly, and I think they're doing a great job. Coach Pearl's doing a great job. The coaching staff, they're doing a great job of keeping these guys together and just, keeping the ship steady. And, it's times where it gets rocky, but, you got different guys that steps up and grab the wheel sometimes, and it's helping. I think everybody's learning and growing from it.
Mm-hmm. Of course, you went through this at Auburn in 2003 NCAA tournament, Sweet 16. Any memories of what that was like, and how can you relate that to these guys this year, the guys that maybe haven't been there yet?
Just enjoy the moment, just enjoy every day, enjoy the whole process of everything. My team that year, we started playing well late, and we just kind of got on we started clicking late, and these guys, they've been playing good the whole year, and they're kind of sticking together, and just enjoying the process. Just enjoy everything, take every day, and just, appreciate each moment, because it's a lot of people that don't get to these points. It's a lot of people that never make it to the NCAA. It's a lot of people that don't win an SEC championship. So enjoy every moment of it.
What do you remember about your experience? Anything in particular?
Just when Selection Sunday came, it was a lot of people like, oh, they shouldn't be here. They shouldn't do that. And it was just something that, our guys stuck together, and we were like, you know what, we're going to go out here and we're going to show and we're going to prove everybody that we deserve to be here. And we just played basketball together. We played as a team, and it's just great being on the other side and seeing where we are now and the places that we're going to go.
Mm-hmm. You talked about the strength of this team, how many players they have that can chip in different games. And the other thing that sticks out to me is the unselfishness, the unity of this team. How does that benefit them in March Madness when you're going to have those times? You're going to have to rely on that.
I think it's going to help a lot, because usually with a team that has a lot of great players, sometimes you find a little jealousy here, a couple people not happy for each other. But this team is unique and it's different. Like, if somebody gets going, they're cheering for each other. Like, oh, here you go, there you go. It's like they're all happy for each other, and that's very rare. The chemistry that they built in this short period of time is very rare.
Mm-hmm. We got the winner of the Gators and the Aggies, I guess, in round 1 Friday. Some struggles with Florida during the season. What are you thinking in round 1? How's that going to be?
I think, guys are looking for, we're just going to take it one game at a time, whether it's the Aggies or the Gators. We're going to come out, we're going to prepare, we're going to be ready, and we're going to try to put our guys in the best position to be successful. And I think guys are looking forward to just going out there and, just continue to get better. That's our whole goal, is just continue to get better and keep playing better. And, the better you play in March, the better it is.
Mm-hmm. Guys like Jabari, everybody talks about him as the first pick or the third pick or whatever he's going to be. What do you talk to him about that?
No, it's kind of strange. One day we were actually in the locker room, and somebody asked him, like, man, why are you going to class? He's like, man, I need my degree. And I'm like, you rarely hear him say anything about NBA, like about him getting drafted or this and that. And that's very rare, very strange, unique for a kid with his talent and the skill set that he has. I mean, he's going to be very successful at the next level, but he's just focused on being a college kid, trying to get his degree and doing the right things. And, it's very rare that you find someone that, like you say, could possibly be number 1, number 2, 3 pick that's still want to go to class and focus and doing all the right things.
Mm-hmm. And I think about that all the time. A guy like Jabari, everybody on TV wants to talk about, like you said, the next level. Where's he going to go in the NBA? Does a guy like that ever think about returning for a year or 2 at Auburn? Or is that just impossible to do now?
It's almost, if you're in a situation to where you got a chance to go change your family's life, and, I mean, I suggest you go do it. You can always come back and graduate, but if you got a chance, to possibly change your family's life, it's hard to tell a kid not to go do that. Mm-hmm. Isaac was kind of in that same situation. He wanted to come back, but it was like, it's almost like you have to go, bro. Like, you have to go. Like, you got a chance to change your family's life. So, he almost cried when he had to leave. So that's just the thing about Auburn. Like, once you get here, you understand that it's like the love and the genuine. I mean, the jungle is crazy. The atmosphere is just really crazy. It's different. It's very different.
Hmm. What brought you back to Auburn? You started as the grad assistant a few years ago, and now you've worked into player development. But what was the initial thing that brought you back to the Plains?
I started coming back to a couple games, just supporting the team, and me and Coach Pearl came to me one day and asked me, did I want to get into coaching, and I was like, yeah, I try. He's like, well, you got to get your master's. I was like, okay. So I came back. I ended up getting my master's degree, and I'm actually in the process. I'm thinking about, my wife is trying to get me to go back and get my doctorate. I'm about 60 hours away from it, so I'm thinking about going to do that as well. But
Mhm.
just coming back, just want to be in around the program and helping these guys out as much as possible, because, like I said, when I played, I didn't have someone in my position to come and talk to me and kind of mentor me with stuff off the court. It was mostly all basketball stuff on the court, but never with, what goes on off the court.
Mhm. I think you got your master's in education, right?
Yes, sir.
What would your doctorate be?
Probably in that same field. Probably in that same field. I talked to my the academic advisor. She said I'm about 60 hours away, so
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking about it.
Are you thinking about doing something with that, or would you stay in coaching?
I enjoy being around the kids. I have a certain gift of being able to read people and kind of relay messages and kind of get them to understand the things that they need to do to be successful with what they want to do in life.
Hmm. You have a gut feeling as to what's going to happen in March for this team? Does anything pop in your head? I know I asked Zepp about that a couple of weeks ago, and he said he
Uh,
hadn't had a vision yet. But
I haven't had a vision, but I mean, it will always be great to be able to bring a championship here to Auburn. That will always be great. But I think as long as we continue to play the right way and keep God in forefront of everything that we're doing, the future is very bright for this team.